A warm welcome from the Curragh on what is billed as one of the most important weekends in Irish racing history. That's because it's the inaugural Irish Champions Weekend. Yesterday it got off to a flyer with a great day of racing over at Leopardstown, and today the action moves to a packed Curragh. After a good day for British raiders on the Saturday of the meeting, the successful visit continued on Sunday, when Irish expat David O'Mara sent over Watchable to land the valuable opening handicap. After that, the parade ring hosted some stars of the past. A parade of champions, including Grand National winner number 6 Valverde, Cheltenham Gold Cup winner Kicking King, and an Infol Cuvega were among those to strut their stuff in front of an appreciative crowd. This might have been a day to showcase flat racing, but the jumping folk weren't going to be totally outdone. With a crowd of 11,000, double that of the 2013 running of the Irish St Leger, this was a day when racing people from all over the world embraced this revamped meeting, including a few visitors from out of this world. The Group 2 Blandford Stakes provided a victory for Dubai, when His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Rashid Al Maktoum's Tarfasha bounced back to her best in no uncertain terms. The victory was a pleasing one for Stephen Collins, manager of Sheikh Hamdan's Derrinsdown stud, who was celebrating a good weekend for the operation.
We were delighted actually. I mean, she's a filly that's had shown great potential, won a Group 3 here in Naas in the spring. We ran a fantastic second to the Gruda in the Epsom Oaks. Disappointed a little bit in the Irish Oaks, but she's back to her best today, really picked them up, ran away from them, so we're very, very impressed, and I think she might have a very good autumn this year for Sheikh Hamdan.
Where are you going next?
Well, that's open for debate. Obviously, Sheikh Hamdan and his racing manager Angus Gold and Dermot Weld will make that decision. But I think maybe the ultimate goal may be a run in the Breeders' Cup. But I think the trainer would like to touch Sheikh Hamdan maybe about a run in between if that's what he would like to do. But she's fresh, she's well, she's working well, she won well today, so it's onwards and upwards, I hope.
Sheikh Hamdan's had a really good weekend here. He seems keen to support this meeting.
Yeah, I mean, Sheikh Hamdan has had farms in Ireland for the last 31 years, and we've had a lot of horses here over many years. He's enjoyed tremendous success, but it's great to see horses coming from the UK, particularly Muckadram coming over. Willie Haggis yesterday, Must Achieve ran a blinder, we won the maiden, so he loves his racing, and you know, he's a great affinity for Ireland and the Irish horse, and it's a pleasure to look after his horses, and I'm delighted he's having such a good year.
There are horses racing here on Irish Champions Weekend that ran back at Meydan during the Dubai World Cup Carnival, and one of them is Jamesy, of course, a great winner at Meydan for David Marnane. Since then he's picked up a Group 3 and he's in that same company today in the Flying 5 Stakes. We wish Connections the best of luck. An honourable 5th for Jamesy, and a much deserved first group race success for the William Muir trained Stepper Point. Another win for the British Raiders. With plenty of competition from elsewhere this weekend, the Curragh crowd was able to witness Trev's defeat in France, while preparing for the first of the big ones. The Group 1 Moyglaire Stakes is up next, and the horse we're looking at is Cursory Glance, who could crown what has been a brilliant weekend for Roger Varian. Of course, he won the St Leger yesterday at Doncaster with Kingston Hill, and I think he's got a pretty big chance here of doubling his Group 1 victories for the weekend. Cursory Glance's 9 rivals included Godolphin's Lucida, who lined up for trainer Jim Bolger. She pushed the favourite all the way to the line, but in the end Varian's charge was just too strong, completing a memorable 24 hours for the trainer and jockey Andrea Azzini.
I can't believe it, it's just a dream come true. It was after Kingston Hill winning yesterday, it was just an unbelievable day, and the filly today is just a great weekend, so I'm very, very, very lucky,
She was brave out there, wasn't she, Cursory Glance? Because she was in front quite a long time.
She was, yeah. She travelled nicely, but she came off the bridle quite early. She does that, but probably got to the front sooner than I wanted to. And she got to the front, she pricked her ears a bit, and but when she felt the horse was coming on the outside, she stayed on again, and she was always doing enough to win a race,
Plenty more was to come, and by now the pressure was on the home team to win back some of that bumper prize money. The Group 1 Goffs Vincent O'Brien National Stakes is up next. This, of course, is for the 2-year-olds, and it's been a really good weekend for the British Raiders so far. They've won 6 of the races across the 2 days, and they've got another good chance here with Dutch Connection, who lines up for Charlie Hills. He's a lovely big colt, and his trainer says he will be also ran, even though Aidan O'Brien's Glen Eagles is the hot favourite. Irish Champions Weekend needed an Aidan O'Brien winner, and it got one. Glen Eagles proving too strong for Godolphin's Toscanini and Dutch Connection. His smooth victory earned him classic quotes of as low as 12-1 for next year, and he remains an exciting prospect. The Group 1 Irish St Leger is up next, and Godolphin run 2 in the race, including Enki, who we can see here. He's just having his second run back after a lengthy absence, and he looks absolutely fantastic for Charlie Appleby. Saeed bin Saror is here as well. He runs Willing Foe, but I think it's fair to say that our 2 hopes are up against it, against this year's Ascot Gold Cup winner, Leading Light, who is the worthy favourite. The Godolphin boys were out in force, and their 2 runners did them proud, but were ultimately outdone by a fine tactical ride by Richard Kingscote, who partnered Brown Panther to a first Group 1 victory. The 6-year-old, owned and bred by ex-footballer Michael Owen, provoked emotional scenes in the parade ring afterwards, and trainer Tom Dascombe was a happy man after his charge finally fulfilled his potential. Tom Dascombe has been congratulated by absolutely everybody following the brilliant success of Brown Panther in the Irish St Leger. Well done. I mean, what a gutsy horse and what a fine ride.
Yeah, he gave him a brilliant ride. Yeah, I mean, it was a great result for us, brilliant.
You've been here before, you've tried him many times in Group 1s, he's finally done it. You must be, or you're not quite as emotional as I thought you'd be. I thought he'd win at Ascot, to be honest, and he just didn't stay. And that was a bit deflating, really, because I thought staying was his, end game, really. But he's been competitive now, over a mile to 2 miles, 2.5 miles. He's taken us to Australia. He's run on firm ground, heavy ground, southern all weather, and he just always gives his best. And honestly, if you could go to the sales and buy a horse, and on the catalogue page it said he'll always do his best, you wouldn't be able to afford it, and that's pretty much how we feel about him. And I imagine after coming over here and winning the biggest prize on the weekend, you're all in favour of Irish Champions Weekend, are you?
I was in favour of it yesterday when I came over for dinner at the Four Seasons in Dublin. It was a good evening.
It was the 100th running of the Irish St Leger, and there is little doubt that this huge weekend has given the veteran classic a much needed facelift. Its rejuvenation was one of many things that Brian Kavanagh, Chief Executive of Horse Racing Ireland, had to smile about.
It's been great, yeah, really, really good. I mean, we got Dubai type weather yesterday at Leopardstown, and we had a fantastic crowd, 50% up on last year, and today there's a huge crowd in here. So it's been great. It's been sort of a long time in the making, and now to be actually having it and running it and to it going so well, it's great. It's been a great success.
It seems that trainers have embraced it, not just from Ireland, but also from overseas as well. I think you had 52 British horses, was it?
Yeah, we're really grateful for the support from Britain, because we want to make it into an international event, and we had a French runner, we can work more on that. But yeah, 52 English runners is a huge number, over 16 races, and they're winning the races, which is good to see as well. Maybe we don't want them to win too many, but yeah, it's great for the international competition.
5 Group 1s at the moment. Are you going to work to try and get some of the other races upgraded?
Yeah, our aspiration in the medium term now will be certainly to get the sprint on today's card up to Group 1. It's Group 3, it'll be Group 2 next year, and hopefully we can get that upgraded. A number of the other races we'll look at. We want to work with the French and British authorities to link this meeting with the ARC meeting, with the Kipco British Champions Series meeting in Ascot. So, the scope to link those races. So, yeah, the ultimate ambition will be to have 7 Group 1 races if possible over the 2 days, and I think that's certainly achievable.
A lot has been made, certainly over in Britain, of the clash with Doncaster and also with Longchamp. Is that something that concerns you and you're going to try and remedy?
No, it's not an issue, really, to be honest with you. Doncaster had a record crowd yesterday at the St Leger, so that's not an issue. The races don't clash. In fact, the race programme sits better this week than any other week. We're 3.5 weeks away from York, so you see the horse that was second in the Lowther running in the Moydlair today. Al-Kazim ran in the York race and then ran here in Leopardstown yesterday. So the gap is perfect, and 3 weeks to the Arc. So, you know, the Doncaster issue is a non-issue. So I think we're happy with the date we have. You know, it's not ideal clashing with the Arc trials, but really at this time of the year, the calendar is so cluttered. It's very hard to know where to go. We've 2 very big sporting weekends in Ireland, last weekend and next weekend, with the All-Ireland hurling and football finals. There's really no point in going up against them. So this is the right weekend for us.
No sport can survive without its supporters. So I decided to see what racegoers thought of Irish Champions Weekend, the debut.
The cride's more like a derby weekend, so it's a great cride. It's fabulous, so definitely a good atmosphere.
I thought it'd be okay. I thought it'd be just a good day, but I had no idea it was going to be as good as what it's turned out. The race has been fantastic. The crowds have been fantastic. It's just been, and the weather's been great too. Weather always makes a massive difference.
I haven't seen as many people here in a long time, and there's a buzz about the place, and I think it's just lovely to see people coming through the gates.
With strong support from all corners of the industry and attendance figures in excess of 24,000 across the 2 days, there is little doubt that Irish Champions Weekend has made a fine start. Now, it must build on that and become an established part of the calendar in the years to come.